Well, hey everybody. My name is Jared Malott,
My name is Mateo Galis.
and this is the Coltist, episode 24, the Lenny Moore episode, who we are learning about as Mateo and I, every time we record a podcast, whatever episode number that is, we say, hey, what Colt wears or wore that number? Well, this week it was Lenny Moore, played halfback and wide receiver for the Baltimore
Was it
Colts.
in the 60s?
Yeah, from 1956 to 67, went to college at Penn State, seven-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame member, former MVP of the league at running back, was the 1956 ninth pick for the Colts. Played halfback and wide receiver out of Reading, Pennsylvania, 6'1", 191. But yeah, NFL Rookie of the Year. Hell yeah. Talk about a good draft pick. Colts and running backs, by the way. How many Colt running backs are there in the Hall of Fame now that we add Lenny Moore to that? Anyway.
I mean, they did trade a first-round pick for Eric Dickerson, am I right?
Yeah.
That's one that worked. Because if you take the one that they traded for T. Rich, you remember that
guy? You know, the problem with Trent Richardson is that once he touched the ball, he looked straight down.
Well, I remember, watching
and ran right into the back of somebody, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, you remember this picture of him where he's running and there's this like at least 10 feet.
Right.
He goes straight at the offensive lineman and you say, yeah, this guy, he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it in the league.
Right. It's because he's guessing, that
Jesus.
He was just so scared, and he figured if he had his head down, nobody's gonna hit me head on. Right. That's what he had kind of gone through life doing and been correct. Right. Yeah. Ultimately in college, he was running into defenders instead of running into the back of a competent offensive lineman. So when he got to the league, those offensive linemen are getting downfield and blocking for him, and he's running with his head down right into their back. Yeah.
Gosh. I remember being so excited for that trade,
Right. Because he just had a great year because he was playing with bad offensive linemen. And so by the time he hit the open field, yeah, you can run with your head down. And then there's just green grass and bodies in front of you, right? Not teammates, right? So when he comes to Indy and they got a little bit better offensive line than he probably had in Cleveland, right? That don't work.
Yeah, I don't remember if that offensive line was better than the one in Cleveland. Yeah, that was like the 2012, 2013 years offensive line where it was like basically Gastonzo, Newhart, and like three other guys just randomly picked up from the street. I believe it was.
By the way, I totally wanted to have a film for us, and they posted on their official social media page before practice last week that they hired a video production company. And I thought for sure they'd have somebody out there after they posted. They didn't have anybody out there. And then there wasn't really anyone that I could like hand my phone to and say, hey, take some beauty shots of me. So I'm hoping they'll get the hint when I keep talking about it, because people have brought up like, hey, I noticed you talk about the Cutters on the podcast. Like my teammates listen to this shit, right? So shout out to the Indiana Cutters, by the way. But and then we got who do we shout out? We got to shout him out again because he commented and subscribed and probably has a notification. Topo, hell yeah.
Yeah, great friend.
Give me just a moment here. Get out, baby. Get out. Get out.
Poor thing.
One of my dogs like come barging in the door. Everybody needs some loving, I guess. You know how it is. But no, So yeah, eventually there will be film, but I will say this. So it was our first time doing 7-on-7. So there was no pass rush. Everything was out of shotgun.
Yeah.
So I was either catch and throw or 3-step drop. And then this guy's offense, so the new offensive coordinator, his name is Bob Denton. I guess he played offensive line at Michigan State for 4 years. Um, he's the offensive coordinator and the offensive line, like an offensive line coach at Mooresville High School, again, which is my alma mater, which again, I'm pretty sure we're playing our home games there. They're just like trying to hold off from announcing that, whatever, trying to like build some,
Suspense up.
suspense up. So, um, in 2 weeks, so well, not this weekend, but next weekend is our combine, 40-yard dash, broad jump, bench, and shuttle. And this upcoming weekend would be our last practice, I guess, before that combine. And then basically our April 23rd is a scrimmage. And then I saw our schedule May 14th and 21st.
Okay.
Look like the first two games. So it's coming up around the corner. And
So
then
you guys are gonna be playing like midsummer, right?
in the fortunately right through the heat of the summer. And it's tough
How
to
hot
get
does it get there?
easy 190 to 100 degrees. Yeah. It's
Oof.
either that or it's thunderstorming. That's pretty much the way the summer is in Indiana. It's either balls ass hot or thunderstorming. So last year, they played all but one of their scheduled games. So I mean, think about that. That's pretty good. Like 7 out of 8 regular season games went off as fired. But there'll be 10 this year plus a scrimmage, as far as I know. So 10 plus a scrimmage, as far as I know, and then a 3-game tournament, obviously, to win it
Yeah.
all. But yeah, so Saturday was also the first time we had second time we had another quarterback there. Again, who I've kind of likened as James. He's kind of reminds me of Jameis, like a ton of personality, a huge fucking arm, by the way. He could just throw it a mile. Um,
But
um,
no,
I'm
no care with the football.
I'm a football player that played quarterback. And okay, so there are different kinds of. I've realized if you play Elden Ring, your class matters, right? I'm still ATH/QB. Okay. Every other football player, and I get it, I'm old and slow. Let's just, when people see me move, they're like, you move like you're pretty agile for a big guy. Like
Yeah.
you move like an athlete, right? I'm old and I'm slow, but like I still move like an athlete. Well, Jameis Marcus Johnson is his name. Um, moves a little better than I do, but when it came to decision making after the ball is snapped
Yeah.
and ball placement and being able to throw downfield on time, on target, and it not be that's your first read anyway. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to
Yeah.
fucking throw that ball, like no shit, right? It was so for example, in the period we went on two, off two. So you got 2 plays, and then the way we did it was on the 30 going in, right? So you're trying to basically go 2 to score every time, right? When it's your time. We basically had about 5 or 6 plays. If you really want to think about it, we had all hitches, all slants, all goes.
Yeah.
And then we had a sprint out left, sprint out right. And then there was a two wide receiver route combination it was like the sail combination.
Yeah,
and the 10-yard out's open like every fucking time, right? So and you're sprinting out to it, and you can go away from whatever hand or toward it, whatever. So I just focused on using the plays on the card, getting out there, and then trying to hit the open guy. I had 2 incompletions in the entire period, and the head coach was there. So I sort of am patting myself on the back in that there was pressure in that the coach is there. You're going every two. You're calling plays off a card, so everybody's just expected to know what the fuck they're doing, right?
yeah,
Um, I'm throwing through the second level. I'm hitting the backside post. You know what I mean? Like the early part of that. Once the coach left, though, my arm was a little wore out. Those throws out to the apron were getting a little froggy to me. I shut it down early before I had any problem. I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna stand out here and throw dimes to the moon. I'm not gonna do it. So I kind of watched everybody else come out, and it's like watching people. You ever watch people play with RC cars? That's what I was watching. Was
yeah,
watch people see how far they could throw a football to their buddy sprinting as hard as he can. Who didn't just throw for the entire practice. So it was fun to watch everybody else throw. It's like hell yeah, we need people that are willing to play quarterback. Up until a couple weeks ago, I was the only guy here. Right? So
yeah,
I'm just happy that there's even other guys there that are willing to take throws, so that
yeah, and they can play. Yeah,
I'm not staying after practice an extra hour or two throwing routes to guys because they didn't feel like they got enough work, or I couldn't get a ball thrown to me in the 7-on-7 period. So yeah, I'm super excited. I felt super comfortable. And if you really want to think about it, the defense's job was super easy because we were lining up the same kinds of formations, running the same kind of route combinations over and over again. It's probably pretty easy to defend. So all it really was finding about who I was trying to make my decision before the ball snapped, right? Because it makes your life is just a lot easier. And for those of you wondering, because I know everybody's out there is going to ask, how do you do this? Right? How do you play quarterback? Okay, so if you really want to talk about it, the first thing I do is identify the safety, right? How many safeties are there? How many guys are back there? Usually one or two, right? If you get one safety top dead center, you immediately are looking at your outside receivers to see what are the outside cornerbacks doing. If they're playing inside about 4 yards, that means they're playing up. You want to send your outside receivers deep. That's your opportunity to take a deep shot. There's basic quarterbacking for you as far as outside receivers go, and
yeah,
throwing your outside routes. But largely what I'm looking at, what I'm playing, your boy does, I'm playing tight end slot. So I'm trying to use which of these guys are you going to poorly cover? Not in this league, 9 times out of 10, the tight end, if he just looks over his like left or right shoulder as soon as he gets a free release from the tight end spot, he's open every time, generally uncovered. And then a slot receiver, they are putting an outside linebacker on. So not only is he not head up, he's inside, giving that guy just a free release to run like quick outs, out and ups, right? We're just going to roast him with your slot all day and your tight ends. So we end up, like I said, just basing my post snap decision on, okay, they didn't cover the receiver on my slot on my left side. He has
yeah,
this route. Since he's getting a free release, as long as he runs the route he's supposed to, 3-step drop, set, throw, ball goes here. I don't know about anyone else,
everything's
but
gonna be
like if
okay.
you
Yeah,
you could do that in your garage, right? You could really figure that out, right? It's not hard to figure out who they're not covering, and then what route do they have, and as long as they fucking know what they're doing, right? As long as you put the ball where it's supposed to go and it's on time, it should be cash money. Um, fortunately for me, it didn't work out like that for the other guy with the coach there. So that's like,
yeah.
because if the
Fortunately
other
for
if
you,
the if
yeah,
the other if the other guy's also hot, right? If he's hot, he's 15 years younger than me. Like, give him the fucking ball, right? But um, I tried to tell him, you need to shut it down. Like, let these other guys throw. because I heard him talking about his shoulder cramping up. So that's what, again, I'm worried about is guys coming out that don't normally play quarterback, that aren't trying to. I'm trying to play till I'm 50, right? I'm not trying to be a flash in the pan, show off for everybody, trying to show everybody what I got. But that's about how it is with football, right? Like that's pretty par for the course. Guys want to make sure that they show what they're capable of. So if Marcus is able to hold up, if anything were to happen, he could come in there and I don't know if I'd want to say he'd throw you back in the game, but he could certainly
he can
throw the
make the
flag.
throws.
He
Yeah,
could throw the flag if he needs to. He need to work on a lot of other things though, right? Especially anything going across the middle. But yeah, I felt good, and I'm looking. Like I said, I got to figure out how to get something for us to watch, right? Because right now we're watching what I would argue Carson Wentz's stock fluctuating wildly, and
yeah,
I don't know about you, but I have a feeling it fluctuated as a result of Jimmy G is
uh,
getting shoulder surgery. Is that what we understand
yeah.
now? That's why I got the Bay in the
Russell
background.
Wilson might stay there.
Russell Wilson
I
might
believe
stay.
that Andrew Thomason sent out today. The tweet from Josh McDaniels where Derek Carr is staying. He's staying in Las
Oh,
Vegas.
he's staying in Vegas.
Well, I would take it with a grain of salt because Josh McDaniels said that Derek Carr was going to be his number one quarterback,
Yeah.
and we know that his word is not that valuable. Just,
Ooh.
just to say it,
I mean, it's. I mean, it's
just to,
true. It's true. Like Josh
I mean,
McDaniel doesn't have a lot of credibility when it comes to saying stuff like that. So that kind of holds a little bit of fire next to the idea that he could be
yeah,
lying. He could be lying. That
I
could
don't
be
believe him.
lip service.
Yeah, I don't believe him. I think he might be either driving up the value or perhaps like putting up smoke screens because they are going to take a quarterback, which is my belief. If I had to put the money, I would say that the Raiders are going to take a quarterback, and then just want to like camouflage it, like, oh yeah, Derek Carr is going to be the guy, which is it is a smart move, but I don't think that Carr is going to be starting there.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the league's perception of Derek Carr isn't what the numbers say. He's a top 8 quarterback in the league, statistically. I know there's a lot of guys that you would want as your quarterback over him, sure, and that's generally anyone's counter, right? Is hey, he may be like a top 8 statistically, but there's a ton of people I'd want before him. Cool.
Yeah,
Um, I know, but he's still pretty valuable, and that's what I think. So new coach, right? Um, I hate that for him, though. If I was him, I'd be looking to move on. You know, I could understand
yeah, me too. Yeah,
Russell sticks around, right? Because I don't, from what I understand, not a lot of movement on Seattle's coaching staff. So like Pete Carroll stays, right? So that's
yeah,
familiar for him. It's all about personnel. Um,
yeah. They have the personnel. They have the receivers ready for like what better receivers for Russell Wilson to throw to than Tyler Lockett and and DK Metcalf? Sorry,
right.
but he already has the chemistry. Seattle's probably going to improve that offensive line. Not like it can get any worse. So yeah, he's most likely
Right.
staying
It's
there.
not like it could get worse.
Yeah,
It's true.
besides, rookie offensive linemen have been playing like really well lately. The learning curve for the offensive line, at least the inside offensive line, it's gotten like I see guys like take for example, Tristan Wirfs, the Patriots guy, Michael Onwenu, I believe is his last name.
Hmm.
Creed Humphreys from the Chiefs, and these are all guys that are like year one, year two, and they are already at a Pro Bowl level. Perhaps Seattle could get some of those guys and keep Wilson happy.
And just not as long as the offensive line's not leaking from the middle, that
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem as quarterback. The pressure from the outside is expected. The
Yeah,
opponent,
yeah.
the opponent's sending their longest and best athlete up the field on the outside, right? And then they're put some stout boy in the middle trying to fight your center. And if he beats that guy, it beats your center up, and he's just getting run over all day, Aaron Donald, right? It's really hard. And
Yeah,
I have
you're
I have
going
a
to be in
feeling
trouble.
that's
Yeah.
for the record, I have the feeling that Aaron Donald is the reason why, outside of Matthew Stafford, right, which is his quarterback, all those other quarterbacks' names, one of them's getting surgery, one of them's considering leaving, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, why?
Kyler Murray's sticking his nose in the media for God knows why, other than to try to get an extension, it sounded like.
I mean, I don't blame him. After
Aaron
watching that,
Donald is the reason. Those guys are scared to death, and they're like, "Please help me." I think Kyler Murray was sending out a SOS. I think he deleted Arizona because he was like, "This organization's not supporting me." And then Jimmy G, he already said goodbye to the 49ers, so you know he's out of town. And I don't know. I'm starting to think nobody's going to trade for Carson Wentz. He's going to get released, and the Colts are going to end up signing someone like a Jimmy G, right? Somebody who's free to go, right? Right? Is that what I gather? When you say
yeah,
goodbye, you're just kind of free. He's free to go sign whatever fuck he wants. It's kind of one of those situations where I would absolutely. So I kind of did go back and watch a little bit of film. And if you're a football purist and you just watch football for what you want, Jimmy G does more of what you want. I don't know how to say that. He gets you in position more often where you're like, hey, you could score from here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And ultimately you got to realize, as much as people want to talk about data in sports, sports is emotional, right? When you get into inside their 40, guys are nudging each other on the side like, oh shit, we could score, bro. Like, it's hard, for
Yeah,
the record, it's hard to fucking do, right? Scoring touchdown.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. There
I don't know
is
how hard
like
I don't know how hard it'll be when I'm on the field. I'm just kidding. But it's hard, when you, especially I think 2-point conversions are fucking impossible. Like, it's super difficult. I would rather just kick an extra point if you got a kicker. But 2-point conversions are like the thing you probably need to work on the most. You have to score the
yeah,
2-point conversion, and you've got to have a bucket of plays that you can run. But
yeah.
yeah,
Are gonna get you there. Yeah,
I'm trying to use the knowledge I gained from watching that Alabama practice, to help us to model our sort of like training and practice. Um, and I can also imagine, the more I sit and think about the things that we should do, I'm sure the Colts are sort of already doing,
yeah.
which
That's
which is what which is why, um I I haven't, I guess it's kind of a moot point, but no one is surprised here. That's the thing I've noticed among Stampede Blue with this going on with Carson Wentz. No one's shocked.
yeah. It was
No
yeah,
one is saying like, I cannot believe that 27-7 and 3,500 yards is getting shopped, right?
but yeah, it's the
Um,
numbers lie. I
yeah,
mean,
it's
that 27-7
football
is
is an
just
emotional
yeah,
game. Football's an emotional game, and what you know about Carson Wentz is when you gotta have it, you don't have it. It's that simple. You want nuance? There's no nuance. When you gotta have it, you don't have it. The wide open throw to T.Y. Hilton is the entire season in a microcosm.
yeah,
If you can't hit that throw, what are we doing?
yeah. And then he goes out, and gets the throw against the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
The one to Batman to win the game, where he has like a defender like right here.
Yeah.
He puts it like lasers it through the end zone to the some Batman, where you're just saying, I don't mind if you can't hit that. I just want you to hit like the 7-yard slant consistently, just put it right here. That's it. That's all the Colts needed from him. He couldn't do it.
That's what I focus on, and what I recommend everybody focus on. It's I was the old man muttering at the park on Saturday. You know what I mean? You should shut it down. You should gotta keep miles off some tires. You you're throwing ghosts. Here today, gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? You can
Yeah,
never. There's one receiver I would stay there and put in laps with.
which
He
is
didn't
yeah,
he didn't stay. Everyone else, ghosts. Doesn't matter. Got to hit it. Doesn't matter. You drop back. Oh, that dude's open. Hit that. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna stand out here at 38 after 2 hour practice and throw another 1,500 yards of ball. It's not gonna happen. And like I said, I was already right. So for everybody out there, like, oh yeah, I really was like the old man. No, the guy I was telling to shut it down was complaining about shoulder pain before I left. Right? I try to tell you, it's not wise, and I hope that that doesn't impact his availability, right? But what are you gonna do? Hold his arms to the side, right?
nah,
He,
yeah,
he got a lot of energy. He's a really good athlete. He's gonna want to get out there and huck the rock. That's just the way it goes. And maybe that's his way of honing it in is start shooting threes first, right? Fuck a layup, you know. Um, but I try to focus on hitting the easy shit. Like at some point I had to stop and ask a guy that plays running back, "Hey, will you just run a little swing route? I'm gonna catch a snap and just throw you a little swing ball. Is that cool?"
yeah,
I had to ask for that, right? Like, because like I said, my coach, the head coach, is like, "Hey, do you want to throw the dig?" 5 minutes into practice. No, I want to throw slants. I want to throw quick outs. I want to throw hitches. I'm trying to get my arm warm up and
yeah. Before you
how
try and
fast is
go
this guy
ahead and hit,
moving, head turning, ball on him. I'm trying to do all that shit. And again, like I said, there's a receiver on every team that you're like laser focused on your timing with, and everybody else just has to be a body to you. It doesn't matter who those people are. You're throwing to those people. But there's one guy that's super durable and a super good athlete and a great catch. Every team's got one, I figure. And we'll kind of find out who that player is for us. And that's what the Colts are ultimately in search of. We find out today T.Y. Hilton wants to keep playing. So, and for the Colts, I believe, sure, hopefully big hometown discount. And then also going to need to add another body to the room then.
yeah, yeah,
Because,
one or two.
so there's that. And then I feel like we should talk briefly about people keep talking about trades involving Quentin Nelson and Darius Leonard, and I feel like we need to do a public service announcement and just say, it's not happening, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's just discussing for the sake of it because it's just not gonna happen.
Not happening.
Not
I
even, not
get
even
it. I
work.
get
Yeah,
it. The argument is name a all pro Hall of Fame offensive guard that won a Super Bowl. There's a lot of them, actually. If you're in the Hall of Fame, you probably won a Super Bowl. And so if the requirement is you play guard or in the Hall of Fame and won a Super Bowl, shit, there's probably like 4 or 5 of those people, right? So yeah, there absolutely are Hall of Fame guards that win Super Bowls. What are we talking about? How else do you get in the
yeah,
Hall, right? So for all those people out there saying like, outside linebackers, how many Hall of Fame outside linebackers win Super Bowls? I don't know. There's probably 5 or 6 in the Hall of Fame.
yeah. At the
Legit.
very least.
Bruh. So if you could have a Hall of Famer at like every position, that's generally a good thing. You're probably going to win a lot of football games as long as they're being. And remember, what has my chief gripe been? And so this is more towards like anybody on my channel. What has my chief gripe been? Personnel management, play calling, right? These are the Colts' problems. It's not talent. They're bereft of talent. 7 Pro Bowlers, right? Guys that are having fantastic careers for the Colts, but not going to the playoffs, right?
Yeah, sorry.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
fine. I just
you know,
people I guess are we're in sort of the doldrums of the football season, right? Like
yeah, this is like the worst time at all to be like a sports writer where you're just basically like nothing less left to write about. And even if you had like say an idea or something, you just can't write about it because like the entire state of the Colts of season is depending on what they do with Carson Wentz.
right.
All you can write about is the possibilities, you know, what are the options here. Once you write about that, that's it, game over. You can try and like, you know, write about something, but it's just like I think like everyone's just like we'll just wait till this shit is sorted out and then we can start with the off season.
Yeah.
Like at least have some clarification. But from what I've been hearing from and from what I heard today from Chris Ballard and Frank Reich, Carson Wentz is definitely not the starter.
Oh,
I even believe that he's going to be either cut or traded. And if the Colts can't land, say like either Rodgers or Wilson or I don't know whatever other guy they have, say Derek Carr, I believe they are going to get a rookie quarterback and he's going to start. I'm really like I would put my money on that.
I I haven't said anything up to this point, but the more I think about it, if you just had an athlete at quarterback, you can teach him how to throw within your offense. Um,
Did
one
you
of my
get a chance to watch film on the rookies?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a YouTube nerd, so I've been watching Carson Strong. I've been watching um what is his name? Bryce Young, and then what's this kid
Yeah.
from
Matt Corral,
Liberty,
Malik Willis. Yeah,
Malik
I really like
Willis,
Malik Willis.
and then there's um
Kenny Pickett.
he's gonna go in the top 10, but I just don't know. I just you
Yeah,
never
I'm just not
know.
seeing it with him.
He's a Ryan
I just
Tannehill to
don't see it.
me.
Yeah. The guy I really like is Malik Willis. That's the guy I really and the one from Cincinnati, Desmond Reader.
Yeah.
Desmond Reader is another guy that I really like. I really like how they were like the coaches and the other players were talking about how good a leader like Desmond Reader is,
Yeah.
his work ethic and stuff. And I was like, I want a guy like that. I don't want a guy like Carson Wentz that is just like come in, get your work done, get out. I want a guy that is like, you know, invested in the community that will like stay late after practice, like say a Jonathan Taylor type of guy, where he's like, you know, he goes the extra mile for the
All
city.
right.
I want a guy like that.
Yep. And I mean, that's exactly how I do it, right? I've I've set myself to a timer. I'm on a disciplined schedule. I try to do things I know that other quarterbacks ain't doing. And I'm setting the example for my team. I got guys jumping on board, starting to do the things I do, asking me for what I'm eating, right? Hey man, you're looking pretty good. It's good seeing you out here, man. Tell me what's on your grocery list? You know what I mean? I need to get what you're on, right? So you need guys like that. And like I said, I think I've made my case about Carson Wentz where I've said I feel like the dude's not from here and he had a wife and young baby. And he came in and got his shit done and went the fuck home. And it was kind of like, ha ha, ha bye. That's how he was.
Yeah.
And the team didn't need that. They needed a guy that's there first, there and
Yeah.
even last, that is literally making sure everybody else is on time, right? This organization is used to the sheriff, right? And then of course Andrew Luck, probably the
Yeah. And
most
Andrew Luck.
accountable of accountable
Yeah.
sort of people.
Fuck, I miss him.
Yeah. But you can understand, you know, when you're thinking about it's just like what I said, where Aaron Donald is the reason all these quarterbacks are making noise. Jimmy G, Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray, because they're running for their fucking life.
Yeah.
But the thing about two of the three is 2 of the 3 of those quarterbacks are capable of regularly evading a guy like Aaron Donald. Jimmy G's getting shoulder surgery ultimately because he's not, right? So he's getting out of that division. The Colts, in terms of the pass rushers we'll play against within our division, pretty soft. So I felt like for a while Colts are a soft place to land for a young quarterback because there aren't that good of pass rushers in your division. The defenses aren't that good within your division. So I haven't said this yet, so it's sort of like new shit for me. Give me an athlete and all you can train to wield the lightsaber within arm's reach against anyone, right? Anyone can throw the ball within 20 yards. You can learn to do that accurately with timing. Anyone can do that. Arm talent isn't relevant. Athleticism is relevant.
Yeah, you can teach.
Your ability to be available week in and week out, day in and day out, those things are your ability to keep yourself healthy is highly relevant. So what I would rather have is somebody who's super dedicated to keeping themselves in shape, right? Who's good enough to get away from pressure, settle the fuck down, set your feet, throw, and then it does not matter that whatever comes after the ball, like I said, is the ball is next to your head. Whatever happens, doesn't matter, because what has to happen other than that is they got to fix the guys on the other end, right? I think we were talking amongst ourselves today, and again, I don't mean to steal anyone's thunder, but I'd heard something along the lines of they referred to Zach Pascal in the past tense, right? Good for him. Go get paid. You could upgrade your wide receiver room. Keep T.Y. Hilton. Get another strong wide receiver. Throw a young quarterback in there. I think if Jack Doyle comes back, he had sticky fingers last year.
Really coming back.
So if Jack Doyle and T.Y. Hilton come back, it's a nice spot for a young quarterback. If you can also support them, right? So they've not only got to draft, they've got to continue to develop their talent. So I think the Colts are in the thick of it, no matter who's at the helm, whether it is a Carson Wentz or whether it is a new guy. But like you said, the way it came out this morning, and I not only I didn't have to work today, so it was a great day to have off, right? So I got to listen to all those things live and then watch all the reporters kind of comment about or kind of facilitate those quotes. And I kind of agree with what you said in terms of like, it doesn't sound like their want of I don't know how to say it. Yeah, I think it's right. Their want of Carson Wentz. It doesn't sound like they want him to start here. It sounds like they very much are like, nope, we're being very aggressive in the quarterback market and we're going to move on,
Yeah.
And like we said, we jokingly say it's shit like missing that will throw to a wide open
But it happened
T.Y.
like
Hilton. But it's shit like that.
so
It's shit
fucking
like that.
much.
It's shit like that that'll make you lose your mind. And the Kurt Warner video is the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah, that's
right?
the final nail in the
Yeah, or the nail in the
for
coffin,
me.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good one. I was thinking Scarlet Letter because he's got to wear it all. Like, look at that fucking video Kurt Warner made about
that
you,
video
bro.
settled it for me.
Cost
Once
you,
I saw that, I was
cost
like,
you your job, bro.
yeah, man.
Ah.
Just I was down with the guy the moment that I saw that tape, and I was like, yep, this is it. This is not a guy that you want to have starting for your next season, especially because I mean, if the Colts were like say like the Texans, then I would be like, yeah, not that it matters. But we have, I mean, Forrest Buckner, who is 28, Darius Leonard, I believe, 26, 27, Quentin Nelson, 26, 27. These are all like
they're in their
Hall
prime.
of Fame, Hall of Fame caliber players that are entering their prime, and you're just like wasting it away.
They need a good young quarterback. And here's what I want to make sure we get out, because we say we were going to get out of here. So make sure we get out of here, right?
Yeah, I got five. I got five.
Before we go, I want to make sure people understand when it comes. This class is horribly judged. I'm just letting everyone know now. I haven't done a lot of homework. I've been watching a lot of film. Today, the Senior Bowl was on my TV all day. I listened to podcasts to watch the Senior Bowl, and I'm sitting here thinking, this this kid can play. Huh. This Ritter kid can throw. This Malik Harris kid can ball out. That's at least two. And then they're talking about guys ahead of them, like Pickett. They're talking to guys around them, like Carson Strong. And
Yeah.
that's already 3 or 4 quarterbacks. And I know for a fact there will be other guys that come out and throw well indoors in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So that and I'm like we said, we literally did a podcast a few episodes ago. We literally said like half the league could see a new QB, and then that the Colts are very much in the thick of that. So again, like I said, the it's very clear to me. I hate to be like that, like I'm right, and look how obvious that is. But the Colts have tried to go more athletic, and I think, if anybody wants to look at who would they go out and draft, well, is there somebody that tests out a little more athletic than like a Carson Wentz? Because that's your guy. That's the guy that Colts are definitely going to target, is someone that matches that a little more of an athletic profile, because the prerogative is to have a quarterback that not only can run your offense, but that can escape pressure and then make a good decision.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
Yeah, you need that.
it's like guys can make good decisions, but they can't escape pressure. They can escape pressure, but then the decision making just goes to shit. And that I think you need someone young. So for everyone out there, because I've been getting messages like Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr, and I'm just like Rook, probably a young guy. Like,
It could happen.
he could. I mean, again, Jimmy G's free to sign, right? Where else are you gonna go, right? I can't imagine wanting to go. I guess Carolina maybe, playing nice weather, I guess, or try to. But yeah, what we want to end on. I guess we talked about Lenny Moore. That's actually pretty dope to find out about Colts drafting another Hall of Famer running back from Penn State.
Hopefully, Jonathan Taylor can follow in his footsteps.
Absolutely. And he's definitely the kind of person that you'd want to do it too, right?
Yeah,
He's
and
super
you'd
nice,
want
super
to
nice,
stick around.
super dedicated. You want him to stay a member of the Colts for a long time, and he's gonna stay healthy because he was gonna put in the work. Yeah, absolutely. So Colts have certainly been lucky with running backs, man. When you really think about it, like, dang, I didn't really think about that until I found out about Lenny Moore, and it's like, damn, that's like 5 or 6 Hall of Fame running backs I could think of off the top of my
Yeah.
head. Like, holy, and I mean, obviously, and then Colts have JT now, so that's certainly exciting. That makes
That's
it easy
another
for
guy that could,
make it easy for a young quarterback, is a guy like Jonathan Taylor. All you do is hand him the rock.
yeah,
You know what I mean? He'll get you the promised land. But anyway, let's get out of here. I
yeah,
appreciate you spending time with me, my man. I know it's the off
yeah, as
season,
always.
and there's not a ton going on. A ton went on today though, and it was good to chop it up with you. But yeah, this
Yeah,
has been
always nice to have a little bit of conversation.
absolutely, man. This has been episode 24 of the Coltist. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Yeah.